children, there are always two sets of people in every country. They are I, me, myself. There are I, you and us. That is, those who work just for their own interest. Not only just for their own interest, for their family, for their community, for their particular religion, for their particular organization. They believe in segmenting. They believe in just having a very diverse or very narrow interest. Then there are those people who believe that the world is a big family, who do not believe that it is just their interest which is very important. They believe that if the interest of everyone is fulfilled, my interest gets fulfilled automatically. So, as I said, two sections of people believing in two different ideologies. Here we have the sectional interest group and the public interest group. As I have explained it to you just now, and the name itself suggests, the sectional interest group deals with the aspiration and aims and interests of a particular section of the society, whereas the public interest group deals with the interest of the public at large. Now, in which group would you like to be? A sectional group interest or in a public interest group? This you have to decide. Well, a sectional interest group, as I said, is a group of a particular section of businessmen, of teachers, of lawyer, of any profession, of a particular religion, and these people are looking for the betterment of just their fellow beings, of just their own members. They just want one thing, and that is somehow their community, their group, their segment, their section should have a better life than the rest of the people. Well, but sometimes these people just do not fight for themselves, they do fight for people at large. When we pick up an example of FEDICOR in Bolivia, wherein people from different walks of life, professionals, then farmers, environmentalists, the students of the university joined hands to fight against the water problem, is the example of FEDICOR. Then we have the human rights people in Nepal who actually fought for the restoration of democracy, is an example of a sectional interest, that is the human rights. But when they were fighting in Nepal, they were not fighting for the interest of their community. Now see, the environmentalists in Bolivia, when they joined FEDICOR, they were not fighting for just the environmentalists or just for environment. The students were not fighting for their rights. They were fighting, though they had a section, they belonged to a particular section, but they were actually fighting for the betterment of the country at large. Similarly, the human rights people, when they were fighting for people in Nepal, actually were working for the betterment of the entire country. So, a sectional interest group may sometimes become a group which looks after the interest of the people of the country at large, whereas a public interest group, it is based on the theme, it is based on just one line, and that is collective effort, collective looking forward to, and never being selective. That is, they are looking forward to the interest of the community at large, to the people at large, to the country at large, and not for their own particular segment. They do not have any such division in their mind. They just have the welfare of the people in mind. Well, when some organization fights for the rights of the bonded labor, that is, they actually need to be freed, they must have equal rights as are enjoyed by the people of other communities, of other sections of the society. They are not doing anything for their own group. They are working in the interest of the public, of this oppressed section of the society, that is the public interest group. Then you see some of the organization which might look sectional, but they are public. That is, they have the interest that they have is public. We have seen the example of the BAMCEF, wherein the backward and minority caste organization, which is looking forward for the employment of these people, though on the bottom, or rather on the surface, we might feel that this organization is a caste organization looking for the betterment of the backward and minority section of the society. But when you try to understand their policies, you will get to know that they are in fact fighting for the unity of the country, for the equality of the country, for the social justice, which means that they are a public interest group. So there is a very narrow line which can be drawn between a sectional interest group and a public interest group. But on a larger arena that we have, we always feel that a sectional interest group is meant for a particular section and a public interest group is meant for the entire public. Of course, they can be overlapping on each other's par, but still we must understand that there are two different kind of organization, one believing in I, me, myself, and other believing in I, you and us. That's the basic difference between a sectional interest group and a public interest group. I shall continue with this in the next clipping.